sort of had a chat with bailiff Les, and he's sort of told us what's been out over the last sort of 5 days. There's not really a lot to go on because he hasn't seen anything to show or anything, but point's always been a good shout for me this time of year, and like it's free, there's only a couple of people on. Always done well out of it this time of year, and it commands a lot of water, so I think we'll start there and show you the peg when we get round there.
First attack, mate.
Right,
get the rods out, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it'll be a good start, wouldn't it? Yeah, might have a fish then. Yeah, so we've gone in the point. As I said in the car park, this swim I've done really well in, generally in the winter, well, all year, but in the winter especially. It's got sort of like deepish part of the lake in front of it, so the fish generally hold up here a fair bit. There's not a lot to go on as in what's been caught this week. I think there's only been like 2 fish out this week, but there was like...
Well, a quick catch up with Les, and he did give us some info.
Yeah, he gave us some info
like
about
previous catches and stuff.
Yeah, last week, sort of like Friday, Saturday, the fish was caught slightly more to the left, sort of like the car park sort of zone.
Yeah.
But the car park zone fish, I can fish to the same sort of back of that water from here. And like I say, generally this is my best zone. And it was 4 or 5 days ago when those fish got caught in the car park. So just going on my gut feeling, like this has always got a few fish in front of it.
Liam has said to me he's never blanked at Horcott in the winter.
No, never. And like last winter I didn't fished I think every week bar 2 throughout the winter, and yeah, I didn't blank once. And
well, joke aside, it's got a great winter format,
yeah,
hasn't it, mate? So
yeah.
It's nice and shallow, got plenty of big fish in here, mate.
Yeah.
And like you said, you know, you've had some really decent hits over the sort of winter seasons.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to getting as much information out of Liam, and hopefully a few carpers as soon as possible, mate.
Yeah,
but yeah, so rods going out. What's
yeah,
your thoughts?
so gonna...
What are you doing? Are you doing bait? Are you doing bags? Are you doing singles?
Bait. This time of year I've always done better on bait. Les did say the fish were coming out on zigs last week, so if I see fish show or whatever, I might just chuck a random zig at them.
Yeah.
But like there's been nothing showing apparently like the last sort of like 2 days. So unless you see something to go at, I'm just gonna go to the spots I've caught off wow this time of year, like to go on previous experience.
Makes sense.
Hopefully I'll be able to give you a few like tips and stuff and show you what I'm doing, and hopefully we'll have a decent fish to put on the bank in a bit.
So we will get the rigs, bait and everything together,
yeah,
and then
show you what we're doing.
Get this session underway. See, you're getting the marker float out. I thought you knew the spots inside and out, mate. What's going on?
Yeah, I always like to double check the spots I'm fishing on. Like, obviously fishing like is a 20-acre pit at the end of the day. The lake has got a fair bit of weed in it, so if you had a big winds or whatever, potentially it could drift over the top of the bars and stuff like that you found previously. But I always like to double check. Just for peace of mind basically, and gives me confidence. It takes 2 seconds to do it, so but I have got to find something, because Les said the fish what were last week were more left getting caught, so I don't know the side of the swim that well on the left, so I'm going to have to lead up and try and find something.
So you're going to check your current spots on the right and
yeah,
try and find something nice and new on the left, mate.
Correct, yeah, and just yeah, see if we can find something nice, and hopefully that'll put a few fish on the bank. Lovely. Yeah, what I'm fishing over is like the pea shingle gravel. You get like the finest little taps ever. I think they're the best spots. The sort of like the bigger gravel stuff, you get more, I don't know, slightly more responsive on the tip, and sometimes you can get like worse presentation. So yeah, fishing over the shingle sort of stuff, generally it all lies pretty flat, and yeah, in my experience, if you can find that sort of stuff, it's the best spots to fish on.
Do you think the fish are less wary over the sort of lighter stuff, or do you not think there's much difference other than better presentation?
I don't know, if you find something that's like right down to the core, like so, like the I don't know, bigger gravel, in my opinion, then it could have been a spot that's been battered over time. The shingle gravel could be something that it could have a light layer of silt over it, because you're just about feeling it, but you're not getting, like I say, the massive like sort of like judder. It's just like a tiny little tap on the tip, which tells me like it's that shingle gravel. But yeah, in my experience, it's the better stuff to fish over. And yeah, I just had 2 chucks just double check, like I said, and yeah, it's spot on. So get some rigs out there.
Are you clipping the spom up to the same as the rods, mate?
No, so for everyone does it different, and everyone will give you their own opinion of it. But I hold my rod back quite far when I'm feeling for a drop, so I allow for that. So for every 2 foot of water, I bring my spod a foot back. So we've got like 6.5 foot of water out there, 6.5, 7 foot, and my spot's at 25.5, so I clip my spod at just over 25. It's going to be in the ballpark area at that sort of range. You're going to get, obviously if you get winds and stuff throughout the session, like the clip might have to be adjusted if you get strong winds and stuff, but today's flat calm at the moment, so yeah, opening gambit, it's worked for me in the past, and the amount of times I've hooked bait off my spot as well, so I know I'm fishing accurate at that sort of range. So that's the thing that's always worked for me, and I stick to that. The base of my mix is nut sludge. The fish in here, in my opinion, love ground tiger nuts or tiger nuts. I wasn't using tiger nuts at the start of last winter, and I was catching a couple of fish and they were shitting out tigers or chopped tiger. Ever since I started using this in my mix, my catch rate went up. I just think they love the taste of the tiger, and it also makes spotting really easy because it's heavy in weight as well, so fishing it over 100 yards, and it makes the job easy for that as well. So
I queried with you, because obviously we do 2 different sludges. We're doing the original one, which has got bits in, and we do the instant, which is obviously 100% like ground powder and particle. You always favour the original. Why is that, mate?
Right, reason being, it's got the more particle bits in, so the instant one you can add just lake water to, because it's got other ground particles in. But to bring the ground tiger nut flour out at its best, by tipping hot water on it the night before preparing it, it brings the sugars out in the ground tiger nut, which I think's a lot better, and that's the reason why I like it as well. But I like all the little particles in there, like all the little seeds and bits as well.
So you got a bit of like solid food content. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's not just powder form. Like if I was spodding over zigs, that's what the instant one's better for. But like I want the majority of this to go down to the deck, so I'm not going to be losing it up in the water. I want the majority of this to go down to the deck, and it will stay stodgy-ish, not slop.
Perfect.
So yeah, so the base of that. So I put 1.5 of those in. as previous videos when we've done, I like to do all my mix to fresh, so
doing it to order.
Yeah, doing it to order. So I don't like it sitting in a bucket and rotting. I like it all fresh to go. Tiger slime as well. It's just a brilliant additive, really sweet. Plus it does loosen up a tiny bit, the sludge. I don't want it like stodgy, so it's going to go down like a clump. I want it so it's going to break up for going through the water. So
like a good porridge.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I had roughly, I don't know, a third of one of them to the 1.5 scoops. Just give it a quick stir around. And if I bring that back up, see it's a bit more, now it's a bit more playful with, so compared to that, which is really stodge, it's a bit looser.
Yeah.
That's the consistency I want. Then add a few other little particles. So like I said, the fish were shitting out chopped tigers when I was catching them, so some of that in my mix as well. Just a couple of small little handfuls. Give that a mix round. It's also, so there's some bigger stuff on the bottom as well, so the fish can keep grubbing around. Then hemp, same sort of thing, a couple of little dashings. Hemp's just a really good additive. Fish can digest it really easy this time of year. The black fleck as well I like. So that's the mix so far. Plenty of little bits and pieces going on in there. No spod mix is completely about corn. 1 whole tin of corn. Corn's obviously really digestible for the fish in the winter as well. Obviously the bright yellow in colour as well. So that's the mix we've got so far. Really good mix. Also, I like to, in the winter, naturals, so maggots. I had about 3 handfuls of that to the mix as well.
That's pretty much your spod mix.
That's pretty much the spod mix for the winter, yeah. So everything in there is really digestible. Like the tiger flour will hold it together, so it makes it easy to get it out there as well. That's the sort of mix we're looking at. Everything in there is really digestible for the fish this time of year. And
how many spoms is that going to do? Because you said you obviously do it fresh to order, so you're putting all of this out?
Yeah, so I mix about 15 spods. If you mess a few up, obviously, I mix about 15 spods worth.
Mess a few up, you? Yeah. Don't be ridiculous.
I tried to get them all accurate, but yeah, 10 to 12 accurate as a starting point, and then if I catch fish, then top it with another like 4 or 5, and yeah, just go from there and just see how the session goes. But I'll always try and mix it fresh to batch. It's always worked.
Would you be looking to top up the swim later? Does it depend on sort of if you've had any action? I mean, what's the plan? Is this going to be it for up until this evening?
Yeah,
or?
so I start with, like I said, I start with the 10 to 12 spods, and unless I've seen fish in the air or I thought something was happening in my swim, I wouldn't top back up. Obviously, if you get a bite, that's the crucial thing. Like, obviously, a fair bit of the bait must have gone then, so I always top it up with, like, say, 4 to 5, and yeah, just go from there.
So basically, you know, it hasn't been touched, you haven't had any fish, you haven't seen any movement, no need to top it?
No, and just yeah, just play it by ear and just judge on what's happening in your swim.
So it has just gone 3 o'clock, Liam. Are we confident?
Ish, I would have said.
Ish.
I haven't seen anything yet to go on, but that's not the end of the world, I wouldn't have said. If you get a little pack come over you in here, then it can get 2 or 3 in the space of an hour. So
0 to hero pretty quick then. So.
Yeah, and there's, like I said at the start, there's so many good fish in here, like nice scaly ones. I have just seen something like happen roughly, like a little slip patch just come up, like the wind's just picked up a little bit all of a sudden, and then a slick come off the side of my spot, and I've got that bit of hemp in the mix, so potentially that something's nudged that, but no actual sign of a carp yet.
But they've only been out a couple of hours, so I mean, what's the plan? Are you going to leave them unless something happens? You're going to redo them before dark, or?
50-50. Like sometimes I redo one if I got 2 on a spot, because there are rudd in here, and I'm topping my baits off with some maggots. So sometimes I just like to bring one rod in just to double check that they haven't been had by the rudd in here.
That makes sense.
But they're not normally a massive problem when you're fishing out in the middle in the winter. But there is a lot in here, so you can obviously, there's the outside chance of getting done over by a rudd.
Okie dokie, well, you've baited, you've got 2 good spots out there, happy with those, rods went out well, so you're fishing. It's only been a couple of hours anyway, so plenty of time, mate.
Yeah, plenty of time. We've still got a fair amount of time in front of us, and the weather's supposed to be wild changeable when we're here, so literally anything could happen. Yeah, it's supposed to have, like, the wind's supposed to pick up tomorrow. It's probably slightly better fishing weather tomorrow, to be honest. It's been pretty flat calm today, but yeah, we'll just see what happens, and yeah, like, hopefully we'll have a fish to show you in a bit, and
hopefully before we lose the light, but failing that, possibly an update just before bed, and then first thing in the morning, or with a carp, mate.
Yeah, spot
on. Going into the night, Liam felt very confident. With the bait spot on and the rigs well presented, he knew it was only a matter of time. It wasn't until the early hours of the morning we received the first bite. Well, it's morning. Liam has managed to catch one, mate.
Yeah.
Not a monster.
Nope.
But a start.
It was a start, yeah. It's only a little, I don't know, 13, 14 pound common. But it's a start. It was over the bait, so that's a promising sign. And yeah, hopefully there was a few more in the area. Generally I put 12 spots out yesterday, had that bite. So you would have thought there's been a fair few visit that spot.
You topped up a few this morning?
Yeah, but just because we got some strong winds coming in a couple of hours, got 40-50 mile an hour winds coming in for like 3 hours. So I put 7 back out this morning and refreshed the rods so they're ready. I'm fishing at 100 yards and the wind's blowing into us, so 40-50 mile an hour wind. I'm probably not going to get them back out there in a headwind. Got the fluorocarbon on as well, which makes it a bit harder again, but yeah, I got them all set, so if I can catch 1 or 2 more during that period. It's supposed to be a lot better weather today for fish on the deck.
So last night went extremely cold, didn't it?
Yeah, it went down to around 0, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's picking up now. I think it's like 4 or 5 degrees at the moment, and I think tonight's supposed to just keep climbing in temperatures, but we are supposed to get like 40-50 mile an hour winds come in again at like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I think.
Since I have to say, you have been checking that weather app almost
constantly,
hourly, mate.
Constantly, yeah. Just
and planning everything in advance. So, like you said,
yeah.
you knew the wind's expected to get up quite high. Hence, you've done everything in advance, got it all ready, got them all back out there.
Yeah.
Set for the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you did mention you've got a couple of shorter backup spots if you need to.
Yeah, I got one to the right and one to the left, like sort of like 22, 20-ish wraps. Like we've seen nothing show, literally nothing since we've been here, so there's nothing to go on. So it's pot luck at the moment, but say with that stirring of the wind, bit of ripple on the water, hopefully that's going to get a move in.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see something show to like either ping bags or ping zigzag as well. There is a fair bit of weed in here still, like dead weed, like 2 foot off the bottom in places, so you can't just ping bags anywhere. But I've fished here enough times to know like what a fair few areas are, so yeah, let's put it somewhere hopefully near where the fish are. And yeah.
Well, you said you'd catch a carp within the 24-hour period, and you did, so
yeah.
10 out of 10 for that.
Yeah, just be nice to get a slightly better one. Like I said, there's so many nice scaly ones in here, 30 pounder, so
yeah,
hopefully we'll have one of them to show you today at some point. So
We
Yeah.
will wait for the sort of mini storm or whatever to pass, and then we're probably, I think we'll have to have a look at the rigs, mate.
Yeah, definitely, mate. So, I'm going to show you my go-to rig, and the rig I've been using this session. It's the one I caught the common on earlier. Counted for numerous 30-pounders last winter as well, and I've had a few on it this winter. It's a D rig, roughly 12 inches in length. That's Illusion mainline, £19, just straight off the spool, and size 5 wide gate beat, box edges hook, little ring, bait ring swivel on there. So one half of one of our new wafters with about sort of 7 or 8 maggots on the top. I fish it with the maggots on the top this time of year because natural baits are obviously very good this time of year, and I've got naturals in my mix as well. I think it just gives that extra little bit of pulling power this time of year. And yeah, that's my go-to rig. 4-ounce lead clip setup, tubing, just normal setup, and yeah, it works for me.
As you can see from these images, the simple rig and bait tactics and approach have caught countless stunning Horcott carp over the last couple of seasons. This next clip, edited and filmed by Lee at Horcott, showcases what this venue has to offer.
I've been at Horcott Lake since midday yesterday. I've had 7 fish so far, up to 37, but this one looks a bit special, might be a tiny bit bigger, so we'll get her out and have a look at her. Here she is, UPB common for me, £40, 4 ounces. Absolutely buzzing with this one. It's going really well this trip, and hopefully get a few more, get this one back, and see what else we can get.
It's been a tough 24 hours, and with only one small comment to show for Liam's efforts, we were feeling the pressure. That said, Liam knew there wasn't much more he could do under the current circumstances, having not seen a single carp, and with there only being one other carp out on the lake, we knew that there was little we could do. We baited the rods, recast, and set them for the evening. Would we catch? We'll find out. Right, last morning then, Liam. What's the roundup? What happened?
We had a storm.
Which is still blowing now.
Yeah.
So apologies if there's any wind interference.
It was absolutely horrific. 50-mile-an-hour plus winds. Ripped me pegs out twice in the night, front pegs, and yeah, it was the worst storm I've ever fished in by a mile. But we did manage to catch 2 fish, albeit they were smaller ones.
Nice little 6 a.m. wake up in the rain, mate.
Yeah, that was, yeah, in the storm a bit of the one, yeah, little like 12, 13 pound common, and we had another one about 9 o'clock last night, sort of like, yeah, scrape a double. Bit unlucky on the size of the fish this session, to be fair. Like, that's probably the 3 smallest fish I caught out of here.
But that said, you did say, you know, a carp in a 24-hour period is pretty good going, so you've managed to,
yeah, exactly, yeah,
to do that and more, mate. So I know they weren't the biggest of fish, but this is like your go-to tactics that you normally apply, isn't it? So
yeah, like I just stuck to my guns. Last night I actually went back to an old spot I used to fish,
yeah,
and that done 2 bites. So in the spot I've been catching off recently this winter I've just had the one fish the first night on. So
do you reckon if you went to the sort of last spot that you might have had a few more, or do you think it's just the conditions, because it's been from freezing to stormy, hasn't it?
Yeah,
so it's one extreme to the other.
I think it's just the storm might have turned them on a bit. Like,
yeah,
I don't think a lot else has been out around the lake, to be honest. So 3 fish is not too bad, I'd have said. Go in.
Certainly not for this time of the year. Like I said, I think you're just very unlucky on the sizing.
Yeah.
We'll pop up some of the fish that Liam's had over the last sort of couple of winters, and you know, as you can see, you know, incredible carp up to over 40 pound, mate.
Yeah, over 40. Yeah.
So yeah, Horcott Lakes, what a place, mate.
Yeah. Get yourself down here.
When are you? Where are you next?
We've got a couple of venues in mind. We haven't fully decided yet. Either one of Linear's waters, or perhaps Wildford Pools, perhaps Todburn Manor. But this series is all going to be based around day ticket fisheries, trying to help you guys and put some tips and hopefully put more fish on the bank.
So basically, we're going to give it probably 3 weeks before we decide. We might put some bits out on social media to get you guys involved, but I hope you enjoyed the first video. Don't forget to subscribe. If you've got any questions for Liam or the team, then please ask. Drop a comment below, but looking forward to getting back out with you next month, mate.
Cheers, guys.
To book in at Horcott Lakes, simply check out the Go Catch app and book via that. Alternatively, you can do it directly through Horcott itself at www.horcottlakes.co.uk.